I'm Jeff Mack, a commercial real estate broker with Newmark Grubb Knight Frank, and I'd like to welcome Alan Kaplan to Citybizlist. Alan is the CEO and founder of Kaplan Partners.
One of the probably most difficult times we've been through in our firm was actually, when the financial crisis started to melt down. We have a lot of financial services clients, and they all went into lockdown mode right away, and most of them were cutting back staff, cutting expenses. They didn't even want to hear about hiring anybody, let alone actually hiring a firm to help them assess their team or to help them, bring somebody into the organization. And our view in that particular time was, we knew we were going to get through, even though we suffered a little bit of a revenue decline like everybody did. We wanted to play offense, not defense. So I counted the meetings, we did almost probably 200 meetings over the course of a year, just going out, talking to companies saying, we know you're not in need of our help right now. Here's what we're seeing in the market. Here are the organizations that are trying to take advantage of the weakness of some of their competitors. Here are the kind of people that are coming into the market that are A-caliber people that are in the wrong place at the wrong time. And just be upfront, play offense, communicate, say, we know there's not a time right now for us to work together, but here's what we're seeing, and feel free to use us as a sounding board, as a resource anytime. That was probably the most difficult phase we've been through, even though I've been through 4 or 5 economic downturns since I started this business. In fact, the first month I was in this business in 1987, I started Labor Day of '87, October, there was a huge stock market meltdown. So the very first bump I went through, then it was the S&L crisis in the early 90s, then it was a tech bubble burst in 9/11, and then what we went through back in 2000, 2007, 2008. I'm really proud of our team. We have an incredibly dedicated team that is really not only dedicated to the firm, but really dedicated to doing what's right for the client. And on the rare occasions when we cross an issue where there's a question of integrity or doing the right thing, we're always going to do the right thing. It doesn't matter that it's not in our best interest. If it's in the client's best interest to know something, even if that means that we have to blow up a candidate or we have to pull somebody out of a process because we learned something about them, we're never going to hesitate to do that. We've never had a problem in our team doing the right thing for the client, because the relationship and the client are most important. And I think that's the third thing I would say that I'm most proud of is sometimes it takes us a really long time to build relationships with companies, and you hope someday that you'll be able to partner with them. And we've been fortunate that sometimes years and years later, the phone rings or you get an email, and because of the time you've invested in getting to know people and being authentic and not being salesy and trying to really understand who they are and make them comfortable with you over time, we've been fortunate that those opportunities continue to come for us. So we talk a lot about growing our firm, and for us, I think the most critical piece of that is finding the right next person who will fit with our culture, but who's really very, very client-centric, relationship-centric, incredible in how they present themselves to the market. Because at the end of the day, people aren't going to buy something from you just because you maybe come off as some super salesperson. They might, but more often than not, the levels that we get to play, it's the credibility and the trusted advisor type of mindset and credibility over time, and finding people who are going to fit that in a high-level human capital service is not easy. But when we find the right person, we'll be really excited about it.